Welcome to another broadcast of the Debra Rufini Show on the ArtistFirst Radio Network. All past shows are archived. You can find them at ArtistFirst.com. And now, from England, here she is, your host, Debra Rufini.
Greetings from England. This is Debra Rufini with another edition to the Debra Rufini Show. Today it is my great pleasure to speak with Becky Salmons, founder of the Anti-Bullying Project, along with fellow members Todd, Barlow and Danielle, Durham. Good to speak with you. So thank you so much for being on the show. How are you all doing?
We're good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good apart from it raining heavily all day today. It's been a miserable day.
We have snow and it's cold.
Oh.
It's very cold.
We don't like the cold. It's I thought the cold was just a British thing, but obviously not.
No, it's not. We get plenty of it.
Oh, that's a good. Oh, I'd still like to come to America though. Walmart intrigues me. If anything, I just like to go to Walmart. It looks fun.
It can be something. It's very interesting at times.
Interesting. That's an interesting word to use for it. Oh, it's lovely to speak with you. Thank you so much. So, Becky, tell us a little bit about the Anti-Bullying Project and the motivation behind this important cause.
I started this back in, I believe, in 2012. Me and a couple other launch members were talking about our bullying experiences and how we were trying to overcome them. And I thought, hey, what a good idea to go on Facebook, social media, and see if anyone wants to be heard about their bullying experiences and how they overcame it.
Brilliant.
And then me and Danielle actually, I think it was back in 2014, did a anti-bullying walk.
Wow.
Yeah, June 5th, actually, yeah.
Yeah? Great. So was that raising, talk us through that, anti-bullying walk? That's brilliant, like walking through areas to raise awareness?
So we walked through the main part of our local town. We started at our launch building and walked to the central park in town. It was probably half a mile.
Right.
We all wore a designated color, which is teal, and that's for the awareness of bullying. And we had T-shirts made, and we had we had wristbands. I'm getting nervous.
That's okay. No, that's brilliant.
A lot of different people show up throughout the community. There's a group called Sojourners that came and supported us as well. And then myself, Becky, and a few other kids talked about our experiences with bullying and how we overcome them.
Wow. That is brilliant. I like the word overcome them because this is a horrible thing, bullying. I guess we're all in the same boat with this horrible thing. I mean, I've been a victim as well. And, it's... So, Todd, did you also attend the walk?
Yeah, actually, the program that Becky mentioned a little bit earlier, Launch, was a youth development program at the time that both the girls were involved in that encouraged youth-led projects for the community. And so the girls, along with several other students from different school districts, were encouraged to come up with their own ideas for programs that would make the community better. And the idea was to put students in charge of leading those projects and then have adults who could sort of be there for guidance and help them along in the projects they were trying to have done. And so our program supported Becky and Danielle a little bit financially, but also in giving them space to plan and a place to work and meet so that they could organize both the bullying page that she talked about and the walk.
Wow.
And we actually have had 3 of those walks since Becky organized her first one in 2014. And so to have a small town of ours, to have our mayor show up, another organization in around 50 or so community members was a really big deal. And the idea was just to get people to hear other people's stories and understand that they weren't alone in what they were experiencing, and they weren't alone in wanting to have someone who could speak up with them.
That's brilliant. That is really good. Because I think many victims of bullying can feel they're on their own, and they feel, because sometimes there can be so many bullies against one, that they're thinking, this is just me, this is a problem with just me, and no one else has this. But to see something like this is very encouraging, and gives others the chance to speak out as well. I applaud that. That's brilliant. Do you think? I mean, I'm guessing. I don't want to guess anyone's age, but maybe I'm a little bit older. I'm in my late 40s, so I'm probably a fair bit older than you guys.
Well, these ladies here in front of me are about half of my age, but I'm also in my mid-40s as well.
Oh, are you? Oh, we're the grown-ups. Oh, that's lovely. I know. I didn't like to ask ladies or gentlemen ages. It's still a bit rude, isn't it? So I just thought I'd take a stab at this. I'd take a guess. But Todd, maybe.
Let's say we're both 22. I'm 21. Oh, 21 and I'm 22.
Oh, that's still. Oh, what it is to be 21 and 22, eh, Todd? What I would give to be. Actually, no, I wouldn't give anything to be that age, because my bullying was still going on then. So no, I take that back. 40s are brilliant. But
do you care to tell us a little bit about your experience and what led you to do what you're doing today?
Oh, thank you. Well, excuse me. Yeah, I think back in 1985 or whenever it was, I think if you're certainly in Britain, I don't know if it was different in America, but if you didn't want to look like Madonna or didn't try to look like Madonna, then you might as well have been on a different planet. If you're a little bit square, and I was quite overweight back then, and I think I just looked very different. And I still am a huge Donna Summer fan. So back in '85, if you didn't like Duran Duran or Aha or these, you were different and picked on. And I can think of one particular scenario. There was one boy at school who all the girls adored. He was very good looking. He thought a lot of himself. He was very well presented. And he had a crush on one of my friends who was very beautiful and looked very different to how I did. And still do. But yeah, we walked home one day from school, and he leant out his bedroom window with an air rifle aiming to shoot me. And yeah, that kind of hit me. Sorry, no pun intended. That kind of emotionally hit me, because the fat girl who didn't look like Madonna or want to, she deserved to be shot. She deserved to be punished, and also for his entertainment, to impress the pretty girl that I was with. But he was devastated that he got her. She was the one that he shot. Yeah, I just realised how horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, this stayed with me for many years, because it was just the whole psychology of the fact that Sorry, Todd.
I can just imagine that would stick with you for quite some time.
Yeah, it was more the fact that I deserved to be shot because I looked different. So he'd already emotionally scarred me, and now he wants to physically try and take my eye out or whatever with his gun. And but years later, I think actually it was back last year, I found his missus on Facebook, and temptation got the better of me, and I contacted her, and it took me back. I mean, I saw this pictures of him and he's bald now and probably fatter than I was back then. You know. Yes. So that I felt very happy about that, and I just mentioned the scenario to his wife, and she got back saying, oh, sorry, I almost said his name, I mustn't say his name. He's not a bully, I can assure you he's not a bully, and he remembers that incident and he's deeply sorry, and he was very sorry back then. And I thought, that is lovely. The apology meant so much, even though it was kind of from her, but probably on his behalf. And I think, yeah, you realise bullying can happen in childhood, it can happen in teenage years, it happens from adults to adults, and it made me, you know, probably not do so well in life in the years to follow, because I just felt like a fat, useless, horrible thing who deserved to be shot at. So yeah, that's kind of...
That obviously is not the case, because look at what you're doing today.
Hey,
you're making now. So just to affirm what you're doing now and who you are.
That's lovely, Todd. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, may I ask the same thing? What, if that's okay? I mean, only if you're willing to share your personal experiences. Who wants to go first? Todd, should we start with you? Things you asked. We'll start with anyone.
Girls are pointing at each other and you say my name. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Personally, I did not deal a lot with bullying in my experience growing up, but I had known enough other friends that were a lot like me who had been bullied that I had sort of learned how to blend in.
Right.
To stay under the radar in a lot of different ways, so that I wasn't the target. But I was very aware growing up of fitting sort of that category to be a target.
Right.
Aware enough that I was making different choices, so that perhaps if I kept certain people close enough as friends, that other people would not find me as a target for bullying and such. So I don't know if I was lucky or blessed, or if that's just another form of bullying in itself. But I didn't struggle with that in the way that a lot of people may have. But I was very aware of the potential of it. Thick glasses, bifocals from age 5, and I was sort of the reverse of you, extremely thin. Strong wind could have blown me over, so got picked on for being very sickly in my build and all of that. So very aware of being that kid who could have been picked on, and I do remember going through a lot of great lengths to try to make sure I never was that target.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't leave us, does it? It doesn't leave us.
No, it really doesn't.
No. How about you, Danielle? What was your experience, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I mean, I've never really ever fit in. Do you know who Medea is?
Sorry, say it again.
The movie Medea with Tyler Perry.
Oh, right, yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so you know how she's loud and outspoken and just really don't really care what other people think?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's me in a nutshell, you know? I'm loud, I don't really care what you think.
Good.
And I end up drawing attention to myself because I stick up for other people and make a huge butt out of myself, so the attention's drawn away from somebody else. And so in 10th grade, some boys held me in a corner and was like picking at me and stuff. And that was the year that we decided to do the walk.
Right.
And that year I actually tried to walk out in front of a semi because I was like, hey, this is a better option.
Oh.
But I don't feel like that now.
Good.
You know, that was teenage years being crazy. But what really hit me is after the walk and after we did that whole bullying thing, my 11th grade year of high school, 2 boys threatened to try me up in the back of their pickup truck and rape me. And the school was like, it's your fault. Like, and the law enforcement in the area, because the boys were known in our town and they're good boys and they wouldn't do anything like that,
Oh,
it was my fault. And that, I'd say, has stuck harder with me than anything else that I went through my whole entire life. Like,
yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
name calling, being, the girls being mean to you in school and the boys saying nasty things to you in like middle school, high school. Kind of learned to get over that, but the two boys and being afraid of being walking out in public by yourself, like, really gets to you.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Oh, people are
Alright.
awful. That is not good. How about yourself, Becky?
I had a
Sorry.
wonderful support system at, home life, my daddy, and, the family that we had at our youth coalition launch really just helped with it all.
That's good. Support is massively important, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I don't know how we would get through without the support, whether it's counselling, whether it's speaking to friends, whether it's through, organisations such as what you do. It's terribly important. How about yourself, Becky? What's your experience been?
Well, when I was in elementary school, I had a wart on my nose.
Right.
A lot of people call me a witch and would call me just all mean, nasty names. And then I, got that taken care of, and they left me alone for a little bit.
Right.
And then I went into my middle school years, and I really had no friends from like 6th to 7th grade, just because I was shy and a little different. And so I got bullied pretty bad then, because I had no one. I went home. My parents were really bad drug addicts, so they never really paid attention to what was going on.
I'm sorry.
I had no one. And I remember distinctly sitting down at the lunch table, the popular kids just storming around me and just laughing at me, making fun of me and everything like that.
Oh, no.
Then my 8th grade year, I met some really good friends. They're still actually really close friends to me today. Kira in particular. She really helped me be myself and know that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
She's helped me out through a lot. Me and Kira you can even ask Todd and Danielle, me and Kira were inseparable. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Like, never apart. Always stayed at each other's houses and just was together all the time. Like, I would walk into her house and her mom would be like, oh, welcome home. I made dinner. Okay, cool.
Wow.
Like, we were super, super close. And then my freshman and sophomore year, I wasn't really bullied that much because I just let it roll off my back. And, like, I know they're just doing this because most of the time bullies are actually being bullied from, it might be other people or parents or something like that. So I realized that it's just it's out of retaliation. So I just kind of let it roll off. And then my junior and senior year, I moved to a different high school. And the high school I was before and the new high school, they were rivals. So I was pretty bullied because of that, because I went to Jackson and then I moved to Wellston. I remember I wore I Love Jackson or I Love Ironman football shirt, and it was the day of the game. And a lot of people just bullied me and was just so mean to me, calling me stupid, calling me fake, and everything like that because I wore a different shirt.
Oh. Dear, dear.
My junior and senior year was pretty rough because I was away from Kira and all my actual friends. I had to make new friends. And it was really hard trying to transition into a new school that I really had no idea about. But luckily, where I was in launch, I knew people from Wellston.
That's good.
And, like, I remember this girl, she bullied me every single day. She would make fun of how I looked. One time I put too many bobby pins in my hair, I guess, and she's like, wow, Becky, you got so many bobby pins. What are you doing? Like, she's just rude. And I remember senior year, I ran for senior representatives, and I was a school treasurer. And I went up there to get my picture done, and she said, "Wow, Becky, you just look so ugly. You might break the camera," and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
for goodness sake, really?
It was real rough.
Do you think it's...
I just don't think people realize the power and the weight that their words carry sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think it's always... Because it's intriguing, isn't it? When we're not like that ourselves, it's hard to get our heads around why someone would be so horrible without any conscience. I wonder, what do we think about... that there's usually a reason for this. They're either damaged individuals, and the whole saying, hurt people. Do you think that's often the case, or do you think some people are just horrible? Full stop.
I personally think that some people are just horrible people. They just have a mean nature. But others are bullied when they were younger, like have awful parents or have been through some type of assault.
Right.
That makes them feel like that's how they should treat other people because that's how they were raised.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that we tried to talk a lot about in our program, the launch program back then, was to learn to have empathy and to sort of heighten that emotional intelligence, to understand, to try and understand where people's actions came from. And well, yeah, that the hurt people can be a little bit of a cliche. Trying to understand why people would choose to treat someone else the way they do, and understand that action has to come from somewhere, I think helped a lot of people understand that it wasn't about them. So if they were being bullied, it wasn't even so much about how they looked or how they acted. It was, they were able to focus more on maybe why that other individual, what they might be going through, and why they would choose to say and do those things. And I think being able to reflect that back towards the offender really did help a lot of our students who were going through similar things that Becky and Danielle mentioned.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. It's good to look at psychology behind things, isn't it? It's always very important to do that. But yeah, it's. Do you think that the internet has made a huge difference with it? There can be a different type of bullying now, can't there?
A different type of what out there? You dropped for just a second.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great stuff. With the internet, there's. I mean, you just got to, you see it on like, even just YouTube comments, you just got to see an animal having a bath in the sink and there's World War III breaking out. You know, it's almost as if people can't be nice. They don't know how to be nice. They don't know how to be nice.
Well, I think the internet gives us the boldness to say things that we would never say to someone's face.
Yeah.
But what I think that's also over the years, and Danielle, Becky, you can tell me what you think. I think it started out as that. The internet gave us this anonymity to say something I'd never say to your face. But now that I've said it online enough, I think we're starting to see kids who will actually say it to their face. And they're not even waiting to put it online anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot worse. I mean, I graduated high school 4 years ago, and, you know, somebody may call you fat and ugly or, you know, something very rude that they know will get to you, you know, online, and then at school, or if they seen you in public, they were fake and was like, oh, trying to be your best friend, like, don't you look so nice, type of stuff, and now, they'll just plain out be nasty to you.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. And where we're from, we're very rural. So, like, there's a stigma, like, if you don't fit into this cardboard box of being in camo, liking this, you know, playing football, if you're not into sports, or if your parents aren't, you know, known in the town, you don't fit in.
Right.
Or if you like to gauge your ears or dye your hair purple with blue polka dots, you know, you're definitely getting picked out. Or if you, you know, have some piercings, they think that you're weird. And you definitely, like, get picked on 10 times harder around here if you don't fit in. Like, I feel like our community isn't accepting of change and new things around here, so it's 10 times worse.
That's very sad. That's very sad to hear. You lot need to move to England because there's so many different looking people. It's okay. You can have a blue rinse if you wanted to, or a pink rinse, and it'll be fine. But and maybe sometimes people with learning disabilities, I think sometimes can be a target if something isn't understood. Gay people, if something isn't understood, let's pick on them. Let's, out of a sort of almost like a nervousness because we don't quite know what to do with it. Do you know, I was mortified a couple of years ago, and can you hear me okay?
Can you hear us? It sounded like it kind of dropped out.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. That's okay. Oh, nice one. A few years ago, I was on a bus, and there were... So whenever I see bullying now, it turns me almost into the Incredible Hulk. And I was on a bus with... It was quite empty, but there were two older ladies... Well, older. They were old. They were probably in their 70s, 80s, on this bus. And they were looking out the window. The bus had just stopped. There was a lady who was possibly special needs. You know, she had dressed kind of interestingly, very well made up, but clearly there was something not quite right, you know. And these two old ladies were laughing at her and pointing at her while they were on the bus and she was waiting outside. And it really touched me because the girl who was sat in front of me, who was a teenager, someone who I would have been petrified of when I was a teenager, she turned round to me and said, well, she thinks she looks nice, that's all that matters, isn't it? And I was really touched by this girl saying that. And I actually did quite a bizarre thing. I found myself getting off the bus when one of the old ladies got off, and I'm going to embarrass myself now. I followed her to a degree, and I said, excuse me, why did you feel the need to do that? You didn't know this lady. Why did you feel the need to laugh at her and mock her and pick on her? And you know what? She just said, what's it got to do with you? And she just scarpered. So she was brave enough to do that. But
that's why we need more people like that, too. We need more people to stand up against it, because if not a lot of people stand up against it, they'll think, oh, it's okay if I keep doing this, because they're not going to do anything. So it's good to have people that will stand up against the bully saying, hey, this isn't right, you need to, just let it go. They're not affecting you, they're not harming you, so why say anything like that to them? Or talk bad about them?
Yeah. But if we were all like that, it's, we're not going to get anywhere. And do you think, I think over in Britain, I don't know what it's like in America, we started having this sort of flourish of young people taking their lives because of bullying. And I think that sort of, in a sense, woke people up to, this is quite serious stuff.
Yeah, I know, I think a few years ago, someone that was age 10 out in Columbus, they actually killed themselves because of being bullied so bad.
Oh, dear.
So, bullying, it can literally happen to anybody.
Yeah. That's no age 10,
isn't it?
isn't
I don't think people take it seriously, when somebody's like, hey, I am suicidal, or they are reaching out for help, and they don't necessarily be like, hey, I want to kill myself, but they show the signs of being depressed, and you know that something's going on. Nobody takes that serious, because, especially around here, we have this stigma, boys don't cry, girls are emotional, and kids will be kids.
That's sad. Very sad.
And especially in my experience,
Yeah.
They were like, oh, they were just joking, it's not a big deal. And my parents had to go to the school and be like, look, she's afraid to come to school. Like, I didn't eat lunch for 2 months until, one of my really good friends was like, come on, Danielle, you need to go eat lunch. So he walked me to get lunch every day. So he knew that I would eat.
Yeah.
And, like, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have ate lunch at all that whole entire school year because I was scared to death that a group of girls no taller than 5'7" is not going to do anything to 2 boys that's over 6 foot tall.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible.
Well, it's not
horrible.
always the case. I've noticed that people tend to treat bullying a lot of the way that they do mental illness, in that because there's no broken bone, people assume you'll just get over it.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can see. If I walk into the room with a cast on my arm, somebody says, "Oh, what happened? Are you okay? Does it hurt?" But if I walk in and I'm sad because of something that nobody says, "Oh, did somebody say something to you? Are you okay? Are you hurting?" They say, "Why aren't you smiling? Why can't you be happy?"
Yeah.
Why can't you get over it? Why can't you forget about it?
It's just sticks and stones break your bones, but the words don't hurt, but they do.
Yes.
And again, I think we forget that those words have such weight to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess a physical beating, it will still have a psychological impact, but a scar can heal, can't it? Whereas words,
Right.
people have cosmetic surgery because of words. People have, that they can't ever feel loved by anyone because of someone telling them they're so ugly they'll never get married, or, something like that. And it's very, very horrible. I know...
For every one negative thing that is said to you, you need 10 positive reinforcements to get that one negative image out of your mind to make you not believe that one negative thing.
Yeah, that's good.
I remember.
That's good. I like that.
That was a launch thing too. Like if we would say something negative about ourselves, we had to say 3 things that we love about ourselves, and we'd have to do it in front of everybody.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, we would call them put-ups, because if they gave themselves a put-down, they had to give themselves 3 put-ups to sort of offset that.
Oh, that's wonderful. No, that's good. That's what we need. We need that. It's a shame, isn't it, that we have to go through something to be an activist ourselves. But in a sense, it's what qualifies one to be an activist in whatever field. And we turn out to be a blessing to others because we've been there. And I think it's really applaudable what you guys are doing. I think it's great. And it's really good. I found, I don't know again how it differs between eras, and again areas. But Todd, I don't know how you feel about this, but I can relate back to being a nipper in the 70s, and some of the worst bullies were the teachers. Did you ever encounter anything like that?
No, I did not notice much of that when I was that age. Of course, I'm 44, so the 70s, I was still very young.
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah, I was forgetting, sorry, yeah. Oh, I was putting you up a few ages, sorry. Putting you up a few years.
Quite all right.
I didn't mean to do that, I wasn't deliberate. I was...
That's all right. If you could see me in the lack of hair that I have today and the gray that is there, you would have assumed older anyway.
No, I'm sure not. I'm sure you're beautiful.
But that's all right. I guess with age comes wisdom, so hopefully I'm the wisest guy in the room.
You're all very wise. You're all wonderfully wise. Well, I can remember one particular teacher. She was a dragon. But there was a saying that if you swore, I'll wash your mouth out with soap. And she literally did that to a kid. She yanked him over the little basins. And I don't know if you remember the sort of dirt streaked soap with all the little kids washing their hands. Filthy soap. And she rammed this soap in his mouth. And the poor little guy was crying. And it was the summer of 76. We had a really hot summer over here in 1976. And there were earwigs everywhere. And my friend and myself were playing this little game. The little boy was chasing us, putting earwigs down our backs. So come story time, I was kind of itching and wriggling. And she grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and she said, "Deborah Cuppers, what's wrong with you?" And I said, "I itch, miss." And she stripped me in front of the class.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she stripped me right in front of the class. And I wasn't mocked, but the bullying was from her. I think she was a miserable old spinster that never had any kids. I think I think that was her problem.
Like she sounds like Mrs. Trishbolt off of Matilda.
Yeah. I think she was. That's a very good likeness. I think.
I do think though, as adults and teachers especially, we need to hold up that responsibility to speak positivity in the lives of the students that we have, because we have that opportunity to help shape who they are and who they're going to be. And if we don't take that opportunity to speak some positivity into them, the question becomes who will. And I think we need to definitely hold on to those kind of things and do the best we can to be more positive. Teachers definitely have a responsibility to do that.
Most definitely, because if it wasn't for a couple of my teachers, like, I hate to see where I was. Like, they, sat me down and put, stern talking into me like a parent figure would, and they were like, "What do you do with your life?" And, trying to help guide you the best they could.
Wow. Yeah, I think it is so. Teachers' influence is terribly important, isn't it?
Very.
Positive influence.
But a lot of schools, they just don't know how to take bullying. You can tell a teacher, and then they'll tell the principal, and then the principal might not do anything. Like, I know when I was getting bullied in high school, I would tell my teacher, or I would tell someone. They'd be like, "Okay, well, I will let them know," and they would never tell them. So I would still have to go through that every day.
Oh, that's not good.
Thinking it's going to get better, but it never did, because some of the teachers wouldn't tell anyone.
Oh, that's not doing their job very well there. That's horrid. Yeah, again, because it's dismissing something that, oh, for goodness sake, it's only words, isn't it? It's the same sort of thing. Just dismissing it, thinking that it's you'll grow out of it, sort of thing, and that's not good. I remember someone in the PE class. She, bless her, dyslexia wasn't really recognised back in comprehensive school. I don't know what it's called at your neck of the woods. Comprehensive is kind of from 13 to about 16, something like that.
Middle schoolish.
Yeah,
About middle school.
Middle school. Oh, okay.
Middle school to a little bit of high school.
Oh, is that what high school is? It's that sort of going up a bit further.
Well, our middle schools probably cover age 12 to 14 at the oldest.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and high school is from like 15 to like 18.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just assumed. Oh, I'm learning something here. But yeah, this poor girl. I sometimes see her. She's still local in the area, and how she's maintained a grin on her face, I do not know. But she was bullied all the time, constantly, far worse than I was. But when it came to PE, and we had to pair up, and there was just her on her own, because she was kind of, you know, the girl that stunk of weed, the girl that had nits. Yeah, she didn't, but the whole sort of, you know, pathetic thing that children say. And she was just on her own. Everyone deliberately not going with her for this activity in, PE, physical education. And she just burst into tears and just sobbed. And the teacher saying, I won't use her name, "Oh, for goodness sake, don't be such a baby." And there's me thinking, every day she has to come to this horrible place full of these horrible little people. And on top of that, she's got the teacher saying, "Oh, don't be such a child," you know. And I think also there can be a lot of truth in, I can apply this to myself to a degree, that if you're a bullied kid at school, to be expected to learn on top of the bullying is just basically near to impossible.
It's difficult, yes.
Yeah.
Because they can call you stupid, and then you're like, well, I'm really trying to work. I'm really trying to do that, but them calling you stupid just kind of lingers in your mind. Like, well, maybe I really am stupid. That's why I'm doing bad in my schoolwork, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter how well you do, there's the element of doubt, isn't there? But am I doing it okay? It's a horrible thing. Yeah. But I think it's so do you get may I ask, do you get many messages and contact from people wanting help and asking for your thoughts and opinions and support?
Oh yeah, I get a message about once or twice a week. I had someone message me just the other day, it was a couple days ago, I believe, telling me that they'd like to fly me out to Florida to actually speak at a conference about anti-bullying.
Great.
And I've had other people talk about, as actual parents too, that are trying to help their children, but the schools won't do anything. And for instance, this man said that his daughter was getting bullied every day, and that he went and took it to the police. Police wouldn't do anything, so he took it to the school. School still wouldn't do anything, and he had to remove his child from that school and homeschool her because of how bad she was getting bullied, and had to take her phone away and stuff like that because she was just getting harassed online through messages.
That's horrible.
So he had to take a lot of things away from her so she would not be affected by that.
Yeah. Tragic. That's very sad. Yeah. I often look at small children sometimes, like toddlers, and I think, I really, really hope you're not going to be... I just think about their future. They've got to mingle with other children. They've got to go to school. They've got to grow up, and all the responsibilities with being a grown-up. And I think there's a lot to go through. And
That's why when you're younger, you really just need a healthy environment. Because when you're younger, around 2, 3, your mind is like a sponge. You take everything in.
Yes.
When you see something, you think that's what it is. So, I know me personally, my parents were drug addicts. My father, he beat my mom all the time. And me growing up, I'm like, oh, that's how men are supposed to treat women. That's how this is supposed to happen. Oh, I'm supposed to go do this. But growing up and going to friends' house and seeing how parents really act towards their kids and act towards each other, I realized that's not how I want to grow up. I don't want to be a victim and domestic abuse or anything like that. I want to change that.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's good. I'm so pleased to hear that, because it could have gone the other way, where you crumbled and became like what you saw. And it's good that you triumphed, Becky. It's good that you've. I'm really sorry to hear that, because it's so important, the influence we have when we're small. Like you say, we're like little sponges. That's absolutely true.
Becky is actually one of the exceptions to an unfortunate rule that when you grow up in an environment that is not tolerant, that is has that kind of action and hate that kind of mixes through the family, to not pass that on to the next generation. So the fact that she had friends and could go places and see that what she was living with every day wasn't really the normal, but it was the exception, and for her to grab onto that and not carry that on as her own attitude, that really is the exception. And I think we come up against that a lot in our communities, and I think this is really anywhere, in that that prejudice, that hatred, that intolerance, the way we treat and talk to people just seems to get passed down from generation to generation. And in one generation, it was a choice. And then 3 generations later, it's sort of a learned behavior. That's the way we do life. And it's really unfortunate that some children are just not being given the chance to grow up and treat each other equally.
Yeah, that's quite true. Yes, absolutely. No, that's absolutely true. It's a shame, isn't it, that we see differences as we sort of grow older. We all start off as babies, and we're all equal, and then suddenly things change as time goes on. It's very sad that it can be that way. But yeah, it's a horrible, horrible thing. What do you think about? Do you think with the more support we have? I mean, there is a lot more support now. We have an organisation here called the Samaritans. I don't know if you have it in the States. It's a 24/7 helpline, support line. Do you think more and more people...
Did you say the Samaritans?
Yeah. Do you have that there?
I believe there's something called the Samaritans, and I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but I'm familiar with that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more help now than if you think about maybe, I don't know, 50 years ago. If you had problems due to bullying and the upbringing, there was less counselling. There was a bit of stigma attached to counselling or going into a psychiatric hospital, even as an outpatient. But now, I think there's so many people on antidepressants. There's so many people who are in counselling. It's kind of completely acceptable. We're not looked at strangely if we're, in counselling. I think life has got better with regard to things like that. Do you think it's counselling and things are more acceptable now than how it was back then?
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Sorry, yeah. Do you think with the more counselling there is now available, that it's more acceptable? You're not looked upon as a bit strange if you go to seek help and speak to someone, whereas maybe, I'm thinking about 40 years ago, there wasn't so much. You were kind of looked upon as a bit odd if you went to see a therapist, but now it's just the norm. I think that helps, maybe.
I think what I hear you saying, but then I'm going to let Becky and Danielle answer, is that years ago that there was some stigma to getting help and seeing counseling, and that people would hesitate to go and get counseling or help or support because of that stigma. And you're kind of asking if that is still true today, or if it's easier to go and seek help because there is not that stigma. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it, Todd. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let the girls answer that one then.
Sure.
Alright, so I still believe that there's a little bit of a stigma. I know me personally, like when my niece passed away, I did go to therapy and stuff like that. And when I did, they weren't the best of help. So I really had to try and do stuff on my own.
Right.
Like recently, where her death date was just recently, I actually got on my phone, and you can download counseling apps on your phone.
Okay.
And I actually was talking to a counselor through an app.
Oh, okay.
So I've done that a couple times when I'm really into my feelings and stuff. I usually get on there, and they're open 24/7.
Oh, that's good. You found that helpful.
So I usually talk to them and stuff, but I do really think there is still a stigma about that, because people think, oh, you go to counseling, oh, you must be weak, or you can't handle what's life's throwing at you and stuff like that. But it's not being weak, it's just that you need help, because we only have one life. We just have one life that we go through, and we have to try and make the best of it. But when people are bringing you down so bad that you think you're nothing, you go to counseling to help yourself.
That's it.
And it's not being weak because of it.
I think people understand counseling better today than they did, say, 20, 30 years ago. As far as, I think the stigma used to be that if you were going to go to counseling, it was because you had maybe a mental illness, that you were trying, there was something permanent about your situation that you were trying to work through and cope with. But I think people understand it much more broadly today, the way it should be, that sometimes we have acute situations that we go through that just need more support, and we need to be given skills to cope with things better.
Yeah.
That not everything's a pill, but a lot of things are just learning how to cope, learning how to write things down in a journal, or to talk to somebody and not bottle things up, and learning just skills to cope. I think as people have begun to understand that side of counseling, in my opinion, I think it's become easier for people to go and see a counselor. But Danielle, what do you think?
Well, I mean, me personally, I have been asked if I was so broken that I needed to pay somebody to pretend that I was okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
you know, because I had a rough childhood, my parents separated, and all that jazz. So, you know, you have self-conflict, and then when you go to counseling, and when people ask you what's wrong with you that you need to pay somebody else to fix you, it kind of, really hard to look past that. And I think today some people are more understanding. You used to be open-minded. You can't be closed-minded and think, you know, well, there's something horribly wrong with this person just because they can talk to somebody else because they don't feel comfortable, you know, opening up to a friend about certain subjects, or, you know, we all don't know how to fix things, and some things can't fix. They just need to be talked about, and that's why you go, just to help, like Todd said, just to cope better.
Sorry. Yeah, I do apologise, that was a phone ring.
It really is just about not having the right tools in your toolbox to cope with what you're going through at the time, and having somebody else who has that tool you can borrow to help you fix whatever it is at the time.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Oh, that's so wise. You're very wise, all three of you, aren't you? I appreciate your wisdom. I do apologise. That is another phone going.
All right. Thank you very much. And I know the girls appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
No, but I think it's brilliant what you're doing, and thank you so much for being on the show. It's been great to speak with you, Becky, Todd, and Danielle, and it's a big thing to share.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's okay. The pleasure is all mine. It's great to have. If it's okay to have the link to the Facebook organisation, is you're okay with that on the homepage?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on, and to the audience, you know, never ever tolerate bullying. It's any form of bullying is never okay. And there's so much support out there. Don't suffer in silence. And to the bullies listening, there's bound to be bullies in the audience listening. What goes around comes around. You know, you can rest assured. I don't think. Do we think they don't get away with it? What do you reckon? I don't think bullies get away with it in the end.
No. I strongly believe in karma.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's good karma and bad karma, as my spirit mama would say.
Oh, no, that's quite true. I believe so. And there's another one about people can either be radiators or drains. And I think that's quite true as well. Oh, so thanks again, guys, and again to the audience, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, big love and God bless.